My name is Will S. Yanko, and I'm called to plant churches in Western Canada. A little bit about myself. I was born in a Christian home in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I don't think there was ever a time when I didn't know the gospel. At 4 years old, I remember feeling intense conviction for my sins during a meeting at a family camp in Montana. My parents clearly explained the gospel, and I trusted Christ to save me. A couple years later, I sensed the call to missions. I told the Lord that He could use me as a missionary. In my late teen years, my desire for following the Lord began to dim. I got a good job as an electrician, and it wasn't as though I didn't want to go to church. I did. I just didn't want to be a radical. I wanted a life of comfort. I really wanted the American dream, or I guess in my case, the Canadian dream. In the summer of 2012, I attended a revival meeting in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. After the meeting, I followed my friend back to his place. We were going way too fast for the conditions. It was pitch black and dry, and so the only thing that I could see were his taillights through the cloud of dust. He crested the hill and was out of sight for a moment, and instead of putting on his brakes, he geared down. I didn't see any brake lights, and by the time I realized what was happening, it was too late. I hit the brakes and lost control. I cried out to God to save me. My car skidded off the road and I flipped into a swamp. When everything stopped, I found myself upside down in the passenger seat of my car. I was lucky to be alive. The window was broken and the cab was filled with a foot of water. I remember crawling out of the broken window and wading through the swamp back to the shore. I looked back at my car upside down with the engine lights on and the engine still humming. It was a surreal moment. I realized I had just come very close to death. Instead of standing above my car looking into the glow of the running lights, I could have been standing before my Savior. It was a terrifying thought. Everything that I had worked for, my car, my computer, my phone, everything, it was all gone. I realized that at that moment, life was so fragile and fleeting and could be taken away in an instant. I decided I didn't want to live for that anymore. I'd like to say that everything changed overnight. It didn't. But God had my attention. The direction of my life was about to radically change.
They're hoping to increase it right now. The ball pops up. Right now, Coke is way.
In the summer of 2015, an evangelistic team, the Cola Clash, came to my church in Sherwood Park, Alberta. It was an amazing week. We saw more people saved than I had ever seen in my entire life. I suddenly realized that the gospel worked. People still do get saved. We're not doomed to hold on to the rapture with no hope for revival. That was an exciting and encouraging reality. I was all in. The leader of the team, Bobby Bosler, asked me if I wanted to travel with him sometime in the future. I said I would think about it. By this time, I was close to finishing up my trade training. I finished up that spring and was really wondering what to do next. I decided to give Bobby a call. I don't think he actually had a tour planned at that point, but he found another guy to travel with me, and we traveled as a team for 3 weeks. Those were some very transformational weeks in my life. I knew I wanted to serve God in evangelism for the rest of my life. At the end of the tour, we ended up at Baptist College of Ministry for the commencement service. It seemed to me that the campus was haunted by the presence of God. There was an atmosphere of expectation that God was on the move. If I was going to a Bible school, I wanted to go to a place where God was on the move. And so I signed up. During my years at school, my faith increased. Another tour with the Cola Clash showed me the power of specific prayer. On several occasions, we saw specific numbers of people saved in direct response to what had been prayed. My experience at school was invaluable. I believe that God is going to use me in church planting because I've already seen Him do that in the past. I go forward with expectation, knowing that faithful is He that has called me, who also will do it.